sexual penis.
You see, people, it's already hard enough as it is to actually create something, that can fit part to date in the current landscape of pro wrestling and make it work. Because, you know, it's hard for people to adapt. People usually like the older shit, and when the shit doesn't get over, it falls flat on your face. Now, we understand, I've been seeing them more trying to actually push, like, cloud chasers, influencers, conspiracy theorists, stuff that more promote to like actually make substance out of modern medium that goes on in pro wrestling nowadays, and it's cool. I like that. So when you're pushing that off to people like Enzo Amore, I feel like he was actually good for wrestling. To the extent of how it was, I actually have respect for Enzo. To accumulate that he was just a midget with a bad New York accent, can't wrestle, he actually brought extent and actually made something over out of something that, we would glad hand because he's an undersized midget that wrestles in Jordans. But it kind of fits over to his character. He's supposed to be this wide-eyed underdog Italian weirdo with a bunch of charisma. He writes over all of his shit. He actually, coming out of not even a profound wrestler, not even in Triple H's eyes, he had his own ideas. He had his own clout. He had his own catchphrases. Not a lot of wrestlers can get over off their own catchphrases. And, push it off so the crowd knows. The crowd will know what the wrestler's saying. It's like the same thing with Elias. When you don't have that crowd control, you don't have that way to actually speak over to the audience, then you're not going to get over. You can do all the flippy shit that you can. You can do a tornado DDT from the apron. It's not going to be more memorable than what the wrestler is about to say. And Enzo's debut was actually pretty cool because I got to hook on to every word that the guy was about to say. He disrespected the Dudley Boys. Everybody still remembers that debut. Even though how lambastedly shit his feud was with Rusev when he was naked, with Lana, and of course a feud with Big Cass. Now Enzo's up somewhere over on MLW now, where I feel like if he went to Impact, where Big Cass is now, or AEW, he could sprout over with his outspoken characteristic. He has still good mic work. Even out of wrestling, he was still able to cause over controversy, some for the negative and some for the positive reasons. Always had an out-of-this-world look. Something that can pick out. It's like, oh, that's Enzo Amore. He's not just a dapper dude with a fade and a beard, looking like a fucking twink that looks like he's just a normal dude out of a library like Noam Dar, Will Ospreay, just nobody that can stand out. Whenever you see a person like that, that person stand out. You could possibly ask if he does rapping on SoundCloud or does some dumb shit on the internet. Enzo stands out. Enzo made 205 Live relevant. If you remember the first several episodes of 205 Live, I'm paying you. I get to pay you. I get to pay a complete stranger if you tell me in-depthly what happened on 205 Live in the first several episodes. You can't tell me, either there's some amazing, proficient, high-flying work rate, that anything caught your eye whenever you watch a 205 Live episode, then, it was just a good match. And it's like anything can have a good match. You could just watch a regular wrestling show and you can get any good match nowadays. It doesn't stand out when everything just sounds bland and everybody's just pushing for good wrestling. No one's pushing for a good show. No one's pushing to make sure that they stand out from the rest at all. That's not a good thing. That doesn't sit with me. That doesn't sound ambitious. That doesn't sound like somebody actually willing to improve the business. That sounds like a person just willing to just keep it how it is. And you know what that does? That regress. That's mediocre. That ain't shit. And Enzo actually tried that. We're actually making it 205 Live relevant with his feuds with Neville, disrespecting the entire 205 Live division, and actually, making something up of himself, making his own, pseudo-faction. He actually made that shit relevant when he was Cruiserweight Champion. He was garnering shit over on social media. Even if it was for a negative spot, it was actually pretty good to actually hear some exposure, because I don't think even outside, even the regular fans know whatever 205 Live was. It's like, hey, Enzo's the Cruiserweight Champion. I wonder what's happening there. Even though they were better off just making the Cruiserweight division on Raw and seeing what storylines they can do there. But I digress. I feel like Enzo was highly undervalued over on the main roster. And hopefully he does well for himself. Probably we'll see him back there the way releases are going over for WWE, and they need as much marketability they have or any other show. And I feel like Enzo's marketable in a sense that he can actually, promote himself. He actually has good mic skills that keep the audience hooked, and he actually has his own memorable catchphrases and sayings that the fans will always get to do. Like, I don't see shit like that done other than, like, Chisel Adonis or some crap like that, because he can talk. And a real, like, lack of talking for guys Enzo's size is really sad, because 205 Live doesn't get ratings anyway. Things it's primarily a network exclusive. Not many guys like Finn Balor or I don't know, Seth Rollins really can't get a person to really pay attention in a 12-minute promo, and they just never feel like they get the crowd involved other than whenever they say, "You deserve it! You deserve it!" Like, that's so bland, in my opinion. Like, you're supposed to get this angst of emotion every time the wrestler gets to speak. Like, you're the middleman. That's kind of the job of the majority of the crowd, to just always enjoy themselves whenever they're around a wrestler speaking. And I'm not going to try to, like, even push the Attitude Era. Any other era, you can have that person that just feels like you need to pay attention whenever he's talking. And that was Enzo. So, just want to make a moment of praise video, because I understand I don't do a lot of positives lately. But hopefully you understand my points coming over to this video. Don't know if you guys miss Enzo or not. I understand a lot of fans probably dislike Enzo and guys and think they were overrated. I feel like they were overhated. The amount of actual like headlines they garnered when they were on the main roster in NXT, and actually the fan base actually liked Enzo and Cass back over in NXT and thinking they were more sports entertainment ready than majority of the roster that was just in-ring heavy. So I felt like they were undervalued as actual marketable characters. But that's just me. The only person that I think was a weak link there was Cass, because he didn't actually have much other than being 6'11". I mean, 7 foot tall. That's it for me. Thanks for watching.
You like that? You like that?